Hi, and welcome to the Tranquil Cottage Knits podcast. I'm your host, Michelle. You can find me on Ravelry as Tranquil Cottage, Instagram as Tranquil Cottage Knits, and you can find the blog at www.tranquilcottageknits.weebly.com. So, hi, happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, November 19th, 2017, and this is episode 20. In setting up for this episode, I think I'm deciding to call this episode Feeling Whipped, because that's about where I am right now, literally and figuratively. You can notice that I am not in my normal spot. It is way too cold to be outside today. As Winnie the Pooh would say, it is a blustery day. The wind is just kicked up. It's cold. Snow's got to be on the way. It is just crazy. The dogs don't even want to be outside. It's so chilly. So the reason I am in the garage today is because my husband and I have been working on the house and working on trying to get the living room ready to paint. And so I can't record in the living room. Trying to get the living room ready to paint means there's no space in the kitchen, and the people who owned our house before us were apparently characters because they painted the upstairs with white walls and took this horrendous kind of slate blue paint and dolloped it on the wall. I'm not talking sponge paint. I'm talking like taking a paintbrush or a sponge and just going thunk, 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 thunk in all these random spots. And sometimes they did it all over one door, one wall. It's ridiculous. But we knew that there were challenges when we bought this house, mostly because it was a foreclosure. So just the paint job though was horrible. So I'd rather you see my messy garage with all the stuff stored in it in low light conditions than see the crazy paint job these people did on our bedrooms. So hopefully I'll have the living room done soon and I'll be able to podcast from there. But today it is the chilly, although quite less chilly than outside, garage. The dogs are also loose. Callie and Tucker are running around here. I've had to start recording a couple additional times just because they come by and they bump the table that the laptop is on, or they decided they had to come in here and play. They've been a little crazy. At one point, they jumped up on me looking for treats. So crazy, so crazy. Let's see. I just got back from a trip to San Antonio for work. These are always pretty quick turnaround trips, but it was fun, informative. I came back feeling accomplished, so I was really glad about that. Also did get to go have some fun. We did, let's see, we were at River Center and did the river walk, just like little river walk boat tours. It points out a lot of historical buildings and things like that. So that was really fun to go on. And so I got to go there. And then I also went to the Alamo, which is very cool because Jim Bowie from the Alamo and I share relatives back down the line. As a matter of fact, I'm only 2 generations descendant. Let's see if I can make this sentence make sense. I am only 2 generations removed from the actual Bowie name. My great-great-grandfather was a Bowie, and that name's carried all the way back to our ancestor John Bowie, who came over from Scotland somewhere about 1651. So I was very excited to get to go there, and I got a picture of me touching his name on the monument, and picture of the statue of his likeness. So that was very, very cool to see. I love genealogy and history, and anything that kind of connects those ties to me is valuable. A lot of people, I have friends in other countries who don't understand why that seems to be something that that Americans value so much or talk about so much. And part of the reason is because our history here is so short. We're not so far removed from the history of our family, our lineage, because a lot of us alive still have stories of our grandparents coming off the boat as immigrants. Um, for me, it goes back like I have my grandmother on my mom's side, who on my mom's paternal side, who came from Germany and got off the boat. I believe the records differed as to whether she was 6 months or 6 years old, but that's not that far back. And then my great great grandfather was a Bowie, and that line we have traced all the way back to 1651. And then on my dad's side, they're not that far removed from Russia and Poland. And this is my heritage. And it's all from places that are so far away from here. So it's always just fascinated me. And yeah, the history of the US, even unless you're Native American, pretty much everybody here says, oh, well, my history is, and that history is generally maybe 200 years old. Whereas other countries, you have people who can trace their lineage back generation upon generation upon generation upon generation. And that is so valuable. The architecture and all of these things. I love architecture. And when I was on the little boat trip on Riverwalk, they were talking about the age of some of the buildings. And it's funny because they were really old for here, for the US. But in the scheme of things, not very old as far as Europe is concerned, where a lot of our ancestors came from. And anyway, I just find that to be so fascinating. So I was really honored to get to go there and hear the story, get more information about the Battle of the Alamo and what happened there, and the part that my ancestor kind of played a role in. Not my direct ancestor, my linear ancestor, because it's his brother that I'm descendant of. It was just really fascinating, and I enjoyed it so much. So I got back home, and things have just been a whirlwind since. I am, at this point, because I've got other things going on, I think, because Thanksgiving is this week too. Crazy. I still feel like it should be spring. I don't know how this year has flown by. I don't even know what I did with all the time. It's crazy. So I am going to try not to hit this table that I have the laptop on out here. But I'm going to start going through what has me feeling WIP'ed. WIP'ed. So the first thing that I took on the plane was my architecture scarf. There we go. And I know you guys are probably getting tired of me showing this, but I love this pattern. I really do. There has not been a moment of it that has not been pleasurable knitting. So that is the very first thing I am working on. And it is right here. I piled everything on top of my laptop, so much so that I can't really even see my face on the camera. But it is about, I guess, 2.5, getting close to 3 feet long now. It is hitting that point where it's annoying as I try to turn it, because it's just becoming more cumbersome. But I think I'm okay with it. I'm just enjoying the knit. I enjoy the yarn so much. And I'm just going to keep plugging away at this thing until it's done. And so that is the Architecture Scarf by Jennifer Weissman. And I got this, the yarn is Cloudborn Highland Fingering, and I got this as a kit on Craftsy. Extremely reasonable, and extremely nice project. So that is the Architecture Scarf. Next up is, did you guys join the knit vent for this year for Curious Handmade? So excited. I did it not knowing what the project was going to be, or what the first project release was going to be. But then it was released and I absolutely loved it. And Helen is from Curious Handmade. Helen is just so lovely anyway. And I love her pattern designs. But this is the Land of Sweets cow. And that was a knitting project that fell. It's the Land of Sweets cow. And it is beautiful. I am so drawn to all of the pastel colors that are in the project photos, and I want to do one, just all these pale colors with these really gentle transitions. The gentility of it is what I love. And but before I cast that on, I cast on a crazy version of it, and this is because I asked my husband. He's good with so many things, but not terribly much color. So when I asked him, hey, what do you think of these color combinations? Do you like this one or this one or this one? What do you think of this? And he's like, you're okay. They're girly. And that was all the insight he was really offering me. So I reached out to his sister, who has excellent taste, and asked her what she thought. And she picked these colors that were all in a Craftsy Merino Twist mini skein set. And with that, a gray, there was 2 grays, and then this hot pink. So these are the colorways, or these are the colors that's making up the one I started. This is Remembrance Yarns. It's a cashmere merino alpaca, I think, or cashmere alpaca silk. Anyway, it's incredibly soft, like one of the softest things ever. So this, and it has a slight, I don't think you can see it, but it has a slight amount, maybe you can there, slight amount of maybe blue and late pink leaning in it that kind of give it almost a purpley hue, but it's definitely a gray. So I'm doing that. And then there's this one, which is a lovely royal purple that is from the Cloudborn set. This one is kind of a navy blue from the Cloudborn set. This is a kind of a sprucey, kind of green leaning gray that's in that Cloudborn set. This is on the floor. Get it. Sorry, I'm going to bump the table. I can't reach. Okay. Sorry. This one is the eggplanty purple. You can see this one's more royal purple, and that's more eggplant purple. And this is a lovely navy blue. And then there's this silver that is oyster. This is Miss Babs Cashmere. And then, to set it all off, is this hot pink. So these are the yarns that she thought would look good together. I kind of paired them already, but then I wasn't quite sure. But all in all, I think they look pretty good together. Definitely more jewel tone which means that it's going to knit up in stripes. So let me put these down over here so they can go back in their project bag. The project bag these are hanging out in is one of my Halloween bags, and that is from the Freckled Wenzie. I love her so much. I loved this bag when I saw it with the bats and the spider web. Very Halloweeny. It's got the skulls. So move this one over. This is how it's knitting up so far. It is super soft and squishy. Super soft. And I am loving the pattern. Loving how it feels. I'm loving how it's knitting up. Loving how it looks. So right now, that is a win. Let's see. Next. Oh my goodness. Oh. I have a plan to do another cowl. And let me show you the colors I have picked for that. It is the same pattern. I want to make another Land of Sweets in the pastel tones that from the pattern has all pastel tones in the picture, and it's so glorious that I love that too. But I love this crazy pops of color that I got going on, but I want one that's kind of gentle. And so I'm going to drop them apparently. Okay. So this is going to be the second one I do. This is Malabrigo lace and sky blue held together. I went ahead and took the whole skein, divided it in half, wound each half, and then rewound them together as one skein. So this is lace weight held double to make my fingering weight. This is Dingo Dye Works, Little Ripper, and Blue Gum. Is Ultrafine Merino and Silk. This is also held double now, wound double. I think it's going to be perfect because it's that minty green to the baby blue of the sky blue and the Malabrigo lace. This is Louisa Harding Uriel in the colorway that has no name, but it is a very true ballerina slipper pink with a little bit of sparkle in it, and that's going in. This is a scrap of from leftover from a sock that I did, and that is Madeline Tosh in the Water Lily colorway, but it's just pink with a hint of green. Very lovely. It's like a pink green gray. I thought it should have been called Abalone, but it's Water Lily. So that will go well. And then this is the Remembrance Yarns, which I just realized I have the tag here now. Okay, it is 50% alpaca, 25% wool, 15% silk, 10% cashmere. And again, this is 50 grams, 355 yards, and I had 2 skeins of it. I wound them together to get this ball of amazingly soft fluff. And then I will have some of this left over from the first cowl. This is Miss Babs, her cashmere line in the oyster colorway. And then last but not least, this is alpaca silk in the wisteria colorways. It's a very, very pale purple. Sorry about the light in here, guys. It really stinks today. But when you put all of these together, I have them in a Ziploc right now because they don't have a project bag to go in. It is just such beautiful pastel-y goodness. And so I'm really excited to knit that. So that is going to be Land of Sweets Cowl number 2. So the next thing I have, when I went to go pack my stuff to go to San Antonio, I opened up my carry-on bag and found knitting bags. I don't even know, but I think that these might be projects I took last year. I don't even know. Anyway, they've been on hold a long, long time. And so this is the Zigzagular Sock by Susie White, and it is in Manos Allegria. And I don't know what the colorway name is. But like, I almost had a whole sock. Why did I stop this far? But it's back in progress, and so I'm going to finish it. And when another project bag that I had found had this glory in it, this is Mustache Yarns, her perfect, the ones where they perfectly match, 2 separate skeins that are perfectly matched. The colorway is Fresh Eggs. And I want to say I was working on this diligently until like last September. So I want to say that maybe the last time I used that bag was in September last year, maybe October, because I just completely forgot I had these in progress. So guess what? WIP'ed. So now we have 1 scarf, 1 cowl, 2 socks, so 4 whips right here. My Rhinebeck sweater, that's the 5th, although I may have to have a word with that one. The next is, I had received a gift card from a lovely friend of mine. She needed some help with some online stuff, and I just helped her out a little bit, and so she gave me a gift card to knittingboutique.com. Now, I had never used knittingboutique.com. I had never tried any of their yarns. Honestly, I'd never even really heard of them, but they were based in Maryland, not terribly far from where I'm from. So since she had gotten me this lovely gift card, I just went ahead and made a purchase. They do have several clubs. Let's see. Here is their card. And the yarn I got was a Luxury Fiber Club yarn, and it is 40% baby camel, 40% merino, 20% silk, 4 ounces, 300 yards. It is a DK weight, and the colorway is Storm. And this is it. It has a fair amount of bounce. It's relatively squishy. I did notice it has a spot where the milling on it was a little rough. Let's see if you can see that. Just a bit uneven compared to the rest of it. So you can kind of see where that wonky bit comes through there. And then it goes right back. So I may cut that out as I'm working on it. And there is a just very slight amount of color variation in this. You see like a lighter gray spot, and like, there you go. You can kind of see the depth of color in there. Sorry the light's so bad in here, guys. But this is going to be a very special gifty for somebody for Christmas this year. So I have to get to knitting on that as well. Christmas knitting has commenced. So that is the Potomac line for Knitting Boutique, and you can find them at knittingboutique.com. And I can't wait to cast this on. And let's see here. My goodness, did I get through all of... No. Nope. Last WIP. This is one of the other bags I found. This is... first off, it's hanging out in my Fat Squirrel Fibers sock bag. And it is biscuit. I'm never sure if it's biscotti or biscotti or biscot. Anyway, there's the label, and it is 85% merino, 15% nylon. I do love her logo, though. I love anything with a cat on it. Come on. And it is that fabulousness that I could not live without when I saw it in the store. I got this back at Fiber Space, I believe. And then I had hunted and hunted and hunted around for a companion ball to do some heels and toes. I want a little contrasty heels and toes. And so I got Miss Babs Yummy 2-ply in this really hot pink colorway, and had already done the toe and the foot and was ready to do the heel when apparently I hid the project bag from myself. So let's take inventory, shall we? My husband's hat was done. Did I show you guys that? I think he's got it in his car. So the WIPs I did not pull out to show you. My husband's gloves and my Rhinebeck sweater. Still on the needles, both of them. I have 3 socks, 2 plain vanilla. One is the Zigzagular Sock by Susie White from Prairie Girls. I have the Land of Sweets Cow by Helen Stewart from Curious Handmade. So I have one on the needles and one in the planning. And the architecture scarf from Jennifer Wiseman. And I feel like that's not it. Oh, and I'm going to cast on this for a hat. So, I'm whipped, y'all. Totally whipped. And in the middle of it, we're trying to do the house and get the living room painted so that we could decorate for Christmas. And I am just a hot mess. So that's about where I am. Tired. I don't know. Did you guys get the new Interweave knits? I did. I'm in love with 2 patterns. One is the Clinton Creek hat. Now, here's the thing. I do not mean this in any way negative to Irina Anakiva, because she's the designer, but there's nothing special about the hat. I mean, it is a cabled brim hat, stockinette body, but I love it so much. While it has elements of so many other hats that are out here, it's got a brim, it's got a body, it's got a pom-pom. This is just so well put together. The yarn that it's in, the yarn and combination and stitch combination, does that make sense? The combination of the yarn, the stitch pattern chosen, the cables and the stockinette, the definition of the yarn itself, as well as the type of decreases chosen, all just lend itself to becoming something very, very classic, very elegant, kind of understated. I think it is just a very beautiful, classic piece of knitting, and I was drawn to it the moment I saw it. So I will be casting on for this soon. The other thing I wanted to point out in this issue is this one. No, it's the Dawson City pullover. Look how beautiful that is. That is just so classic. I don't normally wear that style sweater at all, but it is just so beautiful. Look at the stitch pattern. Can't really see it. Let me look at the bigger picture of the stitch pattern. It's just really lovely. So I think those are both going into my queue, and the hat may be going on the needles like immediately. Oh, God, that's pretty too. I think I must have missed that one. Where did that go? The Grand Forks pullover. That's another one. So pretty. So I'm just kind of falling in love with these cable yoke sweaters. I don't own one. Never worn one. Maybe it's time. Maybe I need to branch out a little bit in my wardrobe. Never know. So, those are kind of the things that caught my eye as I was, going through the magazine. I really did enjoy it. I cannot wait. I always love when the holiday accessories issue comes out. So I'm waiting excitedly for that. And in the meantime, I have quite enough WIPs to keep me busy. So that's about where I am and what I'm doing. How about you guys? Oh, I can't believe I missed a week in posting in the middle of my Christmas knit-along, Christmas gift-along. I need to catch all of that up today, and I'm going to do my best. Still just kind of trying to catch up for my trip. A little overwhelmed, a little scatterbrained, but Monday's almost here. So I am going to update the pattern that I'm choosing for this hat, and my cowl information. I'm going to go ahead and put all of that on Ravelry in the Christmas gift along thread. That's on the Tranquil Cottage Knits group, so feel free to check that out. I think Becky posted hers on there as far as she had gotten, so I'm interested to see if she's fleshed that out anymore to see where it goes. Other than that, hopefully I am going to, with having Thanksgiving off, so excited, with having Thanksgiving off, I'm hoping to really just kind of take a day to chill out. Things have just gone by so quickly. I had the trip to Rhinebeck, and then I got back and played catch up at work from that, and by the time I caught that up, I had to prep ahead to go on this trip to San Antonio, and now I feel like when I come back this week, it's going to be catch up, and I'm looking forward to settling down a little bit. So hopefully next time I will record from somewhere warmer in the house, hopefully somewhere already painted. I don't know how much confidence I have in that. But tell me what you're up to. Message me on the group or post on Instagram, and use hashtag Tranquil Cottage Knits so I can find it. And we do have hashtag. Oh, what was the tag for it? I believe it was hashtag TCK for Tranquil Cottage Knits. Hashtag TCK Gift Along. TCK Christmas Gift Along. So please tag anything that you're knitting for the gift along with that. And I can't wait to see what we're all doing. Until next week, have a wonderful, wonderful time. Get some knitting done. Christmas is coming. Knit faster. I will talk to all of you guys soon. Bye.